when this stuff is over, you're gonna be looking back at this and being like, dang, that was some crazy stuff.
Dad, somebody just broke in.
What? Go back to the house.
Is anybody out there? It's the end of the world. Mommy!
Let's go.
Why is nobody helping us? Where are you, Daddy?
Alright, Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahashah, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. On today's life foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in Hebrew, which means peace. Gonna be a quick show through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahashah. You know, the word is out. You know, when Israel see something, we all participate. Especially when it's something that is near and dear in our heart. And what is near and dear in our heart? The events of a blackout. All right, Pastor Tarp had did a show on it last week, I believe. It's called Black Summer, and then he did a little Google research on the potential black power outage, because it's something that's been going on. This thing's been said by Dabu 7, particularly. Everybody that's in the know been hearing about it, and not even to the point of mainstream news. All right, this is actually showing it. So why all of a sudden the mainstream news is publicly out there talking about a potential black summer or potential power outage? Because it's called something that's called predictive programming. Also, I was watching, I wasn't watching, my brother was watching something on television. He was like, yo, come see. I go and look, they were selling generators. You're like, well, why is that so important? This is regular TV. Regular Channel 7, ABC News, or ABC generators. So they put it in the minds of the people right now that a potential catastrophic event that's going to take place real soon. Okay? And there's nothing no one can do about it. There's no preparations for it. And that's what's being said. And in this particular film, I only saw 20 minutes of it. I already got hooked, but I had to do something. And you already could see, you know, spoiler alert, but you could already see what's going to happen. If lights all of a sudden shuts off, maybe for the first few hours or so, people will be happy. Some people, you know, Jake, that mischievous demonic spirit will come on people. And they'll see opportunity to take things, unnecessary things, without any thought. But let's look what's really going on. You have a potential blackout. You have famine, which is something highly important. All right, something not to look at as something small, minute. You have inflation. So before you even can able to purchase something, you have to worry about how much it's going to cost. So you have all these things happening at one time. This is the true potential of a catastrophic event of biblical proportion. All right. And this is what was promised by the Most High. First scripture I must get this. It says Psalms 47:2. The Lord, the Most High, is terrible. He's a great king over all the earth. So the scripture particularly says the Most High is terrible. Let's play dumb. Let's look up the word terrible. Terrible. Ayar. To fear. to revere, to be afraid. Okay? So the Most High is something to be afraid. He's terrible. He's meaning he knows each and every single individual being on the planet Earth, what brings fear in their heart, what brings joy in you, all right? He put these things in you. And since he put these things in you, he know how to trigger certain things. He know when to relax, and he knows when to move, to keep moving. Matter of fact, to back up what I'm saying, before I get to the good nitty gritty, Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord. And then when you look that Lord up, it's Yahweh. All right? Yahweh do all these things. All right? So Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is the king of, matter of fact, I get that real quick too. Job 18, I believe it's Job 18:14. It says, his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle. And whose confidence is that speaking of? That's speaking of Esau Edom. All right. When you read Job the 18th chapter from the fourth verse all the way on down, it's specifically talking about the elites. All right. The elites that sits in the dark and thinking that they are the masterful planner and to allow this happen. All these things is about to happen. These are all man-made events. The famine is man-made. The pestilence is man-made. All right. Esau is leading that. And when power cuts off, that's also going to be man-made. Because once the power goes back on, the majority of people that the undesirable is going to be put to death. Slakia. So all these things are being man-made. That's the power of the Most High working on the left-hand side. But when it's all said and done, they're going to be introduced to somebody, all right, that they didn't believe existed. And he's out to bring the most terrible things onto them that they ever seen in their life. So his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. All right, so the key word is terror. Matter of fact, let's look up the word terrors. Just the Hebrew word for that is Baalha. It says terror, destruction, calamity, dreadful event. Now keep that dreadful event in mind. All right, because everybody in America, especially in America, has been living a delicious life. But with the potential lights being cut off, the people is going to lose it. All right? And it was just the 20 minutes that I saw of that particular film that show you every little step of the way what would happen. Okay? And every little step of the way of things happening, people slowly but for surely, fear kicks in. Or that's an automatic thing. Fear kicks in. Some people think things as a joke. You know, because in reality, it's this fear that kicks in, but sometimes you have to not take it that serious because you hoping that it's not that serious. Okay, but once the reality starts to sink in, the lawlessness, no laws, no consequences, no repercussions behind it, a complete lawless society, then the terror, destruction, calamity, the dreadful events take place. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right, boom. Now I want to bring out the scripture I wanted to bring out. Wisdom of Solomon, because this is not the first time this ever happened. All right. Now let's analyze the whole situation. If power cuts off in a major city like New York City, street lights, apartment buildings, everything dark, and so nighttime is gonna look like pure night. People will lose it. All right. And there's plenty of light fixtures and so forth around for electricity, and a lot of things that's seemingly supposed to be independent of electricity is solely dependent on the grid. Solar panels, they're dependent on the grid. Matter of fact, let me go to this real quick. All right. When they hook up the solar panels, they don't hook up the solar panels to be a separate entity for the house or apartment building, so forth. No, it's part of the grid. That's the trick that people don't understand about solar panels. And the solar panels, you need a lot of solar panels in order to achieve the proper electricity that you receive from a generator. All right. Now, speaking of generators, well, with gas going so goddamn high, the people that do have generators, they also are going to be hurting. Why? Because without gasoline, they won't be able to turn their generators on. And here's another tidbit. Even with generator, or somebody got those the bunkers and so forth. If they got the house that has generator and everything else is dark, will you not notice somebody's house that's lit up while everybody else in darkness? So there's a lot of things that could go wrong. Matter of fact, there's a lot of things I want to bring out. So 2nd Ezra 16, I believe it's 44 to the point. Matter of fact, 2nd Ezra 16, that's what I wanted, but it says 2nd Ezra 16 should be 40. There it is. Oh, my people, hear my word. No, I'm sorry. I said go up. 38. It says, as when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, who with 2 or 3 hours of birth great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. So all these events is going to take place. It's going to come one after another. More plagues are coming out the woodworks. And think about this too. No power. That means more disease, more death. Because you have a lot of people that needs certain machines in order to stay alive. People that needs medication to stay alive. So all these things, if there is no power, it actually makes matters worse. And death at an all-time high is going to be on a rapid pace. All right. So we're not talking about lights off and people is going to be in the best behavior. Now we're talking about ultimate death that's going to come for people, the sick, the weak. All right. They the first ones to go. And those that think they're strong because they have arms and so forth, they're also going to go too. Family members are going to be separated. All right. It's going to catch people off guard. There's a funny thing about all these disaster movies. It's always the same. Family members are on a day when they least expect it. All hell breaks loose. They're far from one another. All right. Fighting to get to one another. But meeting a whole bunch of obstacles at the same time. So great pains is coming. And it's not slacking for a moment. It says, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth. And the world shall mourn, and sorrows shall come upon it on every side. All right. So sorrows is going to come upon everyone at every moment when this takes place. This whole entire chapter is bad, but that was a key point I wanted to get. I could get 2nd Ezra 15th chapter, But I'm going to go to a quick thing about the history, proving that the Lord is a king of terrors. Wisdom of Solomon 17, I think it's 4. All right, Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 5. No power of fire might give them. Sorry. All right, so this is. All right, you know what? I'm gonna start at 1. Great are thy judgments, and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. Unnurtured souls have erred. For when the unrighteous man thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses and prisons of darkness, and feathers with bonds of a long night, laid their exile from the eternal province. So this is the time when the Lord darkened Egypt. All right, there was absolutely no light for Egypt. It was pure pitch black. And this is exactly what was going on, because we have to keep this in mind. If these things happen, which it will happen, it may not happen this summer. It might happen in certain parts of the city, whatever. But these things are going to happen. Okay? Remember, Daniel's 12th chapter tells you, as in times as never since been a nation. So the Lord is about to outdo himself and all the things that he have done. And this is a small history of what he did to a particular nation, mainly Egypt. Okay? And what happened unto them. For while they are supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and terrible with strange apparitions. So these are the times when the demons are going to make themselves manifest. All right. It says, for neither might the corner that had held them kept them from fear, but the noise of waters falling down sounded about them. Sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance. No power of fire might give them light. So we're not talking about a regular darkness. We're talking about a thick darkness. Like I stated in one of the videos I did of an episode in Twilight Zone. I still can't remember the name of the episode, but it was going to execute an inmate unjustly. But the day that they did it, that the town was in darkness. All right, it was supposed to be day and it was pure dark. And then after they killed the man, it got even darker to the point where they couldn't even see. All right, the Lord has the power to do that. So when this blackout, don't be surprised if the opportunity knocks if when people is going to start seeing demons, man, manifesting themselves. Because the people, the regular folks is going to lose it. They're going to lose it. They're going to find the opportunity to do what they do best. And then when these things linger more, and here's the point. It says verse 6, only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful, for being much terrified, they thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight that they saw. So I saw not. As for the illusions of art magic, they were put down, and the vaulting and wisdom was reproved with disgrace. So meaning they had no answers. For they that promised to drive away the terrors and terribles, for a sick soul was sick themselves of fear, whether to be laughed at. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air which could of no side be avoided. For the wickedness condemned by their own witness is very tremendous, or tumultuous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasts grievous things. So the Lord used the things that the certain things they mind, and He made those things manifest. For fear is nothing else but betraying of the succors which reason offered. So, and succors mean help. So a man's reasoning is going to escape him in that moment, in that day. All right? If there's a true blackout that's going to take place, a man's reasoning is going to, his own reason is going to betray him. And the things he see is going to is going to manifest to the most egregious things that they could ever imagine. All right? That's why it makes the Lord so terrible. He can take your deep thought fear and make it manifest. It said an expectation from within being less counted the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, and which indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of invulnerable hell, where partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fate, their heart failed them for the sudden fear, and not looked for it came upon them. So when then whosoever they were fell down was straitly kept, shut up in prison with iron bars. So the Lord made demons manifest themselves when that time came. All right, showing that the Lord is what? That He is the King of terrors. Now, 2 Ezra 15 and where would I want to start? 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Matter of fact, 13. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail them through the blasting in hell, and with the fearful consolation. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So there's going to be a lot of lawlessness, straight up race wars. All right, like it says, 2 Ezra, the 6th chapter. Friends is going to go against friends. Famine, darkness, you name it. The manifestations of spirits. This is what makes the Lord so terrible. For they shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power, meaning their own reasoning. What's going to cause this to happen? A blackout. Blackout, famine, people just losing it. All right? A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's martial law. Meaning, once martial law is implemented, then people are going to try, the government, the cities are going to try to control the situation. So that's why a person can't just go to another town or another city without some type of resistance, because there's going to be places that are going to have power. All right? There's going to be places that's not going to have power. It all starting to make sense now. Okay? It could hit the East Coast, which would devastate the entire city, or it could be certain spots. And according to Pastor Tar's research, he looked it up. These outage most likely is going to be in the West Coast, certain part in the West Coast. They're talking about saving, preserving water, preserving the use of electricity and so forth, because they want to play with the people. Think about all the people that's the hospitals. People have certain medical equipment at home that needs to be powered up. You can forget about the internet and so forth. All right. There's people that actually fear the dark. But all these things is going to happen is going to get out of their situation, out of their hands. All right? But because of the pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So people are not going to be afraid because an event that's going to take place and it is overnight, that's it. No, they're going to be afraid because it's going to be out of control. And these women don't stand a chance. No chance in hell. And out of everything that feels guilty, that's real fearful, is these women. All right? Women are afraid of mice that pass by their feet. How much more when it's pure darkness? They will lose it. All right? So a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because why? Lack of bread, lack of food, which is going to say, and man is going to find an opportunity to express themselves in their natural state. All right? No rules, no regulation. A man's going to lose it. And certain men are going to get together and they're going to do what they did. And they're going to remember the things what women been saying, how women been acting. They're going to remember all these things. So they're going to have no pity upon the neighbors. They're going to have no pity upon somebody that has a child. All right? If you have a child that day, hey, the scripture says, woe unto them that sucks. All right? Meaning death and destruction is going to come to those that has children. When you have a child that day, and you're going to try to protect the child your best of your ability. But these people is going to the spirits, the demons that's in these people are going to manifest, and they're not going to show no mercy. It says, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So it's not just because of famine, it's because of great tribulation. And tribulation is not, once again, is not a one-day thing. It's going to be a long process. They're saying if it is a cyber attack or an EMP attack, many electronics is going to be blown to bits. So there's not going to recover. Okay? And that's what that film was all about. So I, through the Spirit, just had to add more to it because, hey, the Lord is the King of terror. And the best way to terrorize a people is to take them out of their comfort zone. And the majority of people in America they are extremely comfortable with their living condition. All right, like the scripture says in Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, the village that dwells safely, the unwalled village. All right, scripture tells you in Revelation, the 18th chapter, how it lives deliciously. Okay, this is that land. This is that prosperous land. So it's not like a lot of brothers grew up poor, knows how it feels to lose power. For a little bit, you just survive that. But imagine all your neighbors, your whole neighborhood, your whole city without power. What would end up happening? And that's what that film was all about. It was a real life, and how do they know all these things would happen? Because they analyze people, they study you, they study your patterns. Okay, Esau is a cunning hunter, so he studied people's patterns. He studied how people will react, so he put it in films. Another show, the actual show that's called Black Summer, showing an zombie apocalypse, which they've been give zombie apocalypse, but it took place in the summer, and it showed a rapid case and how society changed completely within the same day. All right. So the elites are studying, and they're using all their little gifts that the Lord allowed them to have to make people's lives miserable. And if they take down the grid for real, all hell's gonna break loose. All right? Only hell is going to break loose. There's nothing anyone can do about it. And like the scripture says, then shall not be known who's my chosen. Because this great tribulation is not, this great tribulation is going to be a whole lot of effect. A whole bunch of things. And they want to reset everything anyway. So what a perfect time to reset everything when the power is down and when they put the power back on. And any survivors. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end it off on this. Isaiah 19. I'll start at 14. The Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. All right. What is that perverse spirit? The mindset of these Americans. So the Lord put this wicked thoughts in these people's minds, and they do what they're doing. So they perverse. All right. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work. So everything that America has done is done by the form of an error, because it's all gonna lead to the same thing. People gotten comfortable with their current condition. People is quick to put the mask on till they go out. It was quick to take those, the liquid love without a thought. So everything that you have done, talking to all you people out there, was to your own demise. All right, and means error. So every work that you did was wrong. It says, as a drunken man who staggered in his vomit. So it's like somebody that's drunk and they're not conducive. They can't think correctly. They can't move correctly. If they're so fucking drunk that their body, it's like their body has a mind of its own, and you don't remember a damn thing what you're doing. Well, the same thing's happening right now. Okay? This is why when you break down the word evil, which means bad times, this is why the bad times are coming. Because everything that America has done is leading to these horrible times. You become reliant on gasoline. The society is reliant on coal for electricity. Okay? They overcharge. Is overused. So the system is made to fail. All right? So the system is made to fail. It's gonna fail miserably. All right? The roads are garbage. There's that many potholes everywhere. Your car can't fully function correctly. Okay? It's just a matter of time before. Now everything is electronics. So everything that is done right now is created is for their own demise. They want to get rid of cars that rely on gasoline, fossil fuel. They give electrical cars. What happens when the power grid is down? How are the electric cars going to be charged up? Going back to the says, let me read that again. It says, and have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof. All right. As a drunken man that staggereth in his vomit, neither shall there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Meaning, the economy is going to crash. It says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman. And what is the nature of a woman? The nature of a woman is fearful. All right, it is proud, is real proudful. Self is a delusional state, but ultimately is a fearful. A woman have a fearful nature. She needs some sort of comfort to build her confidence. So the Lord said everybody's gonna be have the spirit of a woman. It says, and it shall be afraid in fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord. All right, because what? When these things, the events that's going to take place, and people are going to start remembering the prophets, and they're going to remember what the prophets were saying. All right, this is the Lord is masterful, man. It says, because of the hand of the shaking of the Lord, which shall he shake over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Literally. So Judah, all right, the head tribe, the so-called Negroes, when that time comes, they're going to be the leading force to take down the enemy and there's these other nations. And what's going to, once again, what's going to cause it? It's going to be a cosmetic, a horrible event that's going to lead to all these things in order to happen. And so, going back to the original, we got the plagues, we got the famine. Well, before the plagues, inflation, hyperinflation, famine, and then potential blackout. So these people are going to lose it. All right? And this is why I'm going to end it off on this. Daniel's 12:1, it says, at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, was standing for the children of thy people. There should be a time of trouble, should be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to the same time. And at that time that people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. So it's going to get so bad that the Lord's going to have angels, all right, intervene for certain brothers and sisters and their children in order to survive the time to come. All right? So it's going to get horribly bad real soon. So with that being said, I hope your brothers edify something real quick through the Spirit. Shalom to the elect of the nation. Shalom.